Hey guys, Jesse the Mycophiliac. I found a cool article last night when I was researching fruiting liquids. I was curious about these fruiting liquids that form just before primordia start to form, and I've always noticed that there's been a kind of a yellowish, orangish, it's like, different color metabolite, but a yellowish, dark brownish metabolite forms before fruiting bodies form on all mushrooms. And so I started researching and I came across this very cool article of where they're, used to vacuum pumps essentially to suck these fruiting liquids off the tops of Hericium erinaceus, or off of like lion's mane, chestnut, and wild enoki. And they're able to use some of those fruiting liquid compounds to suppress certain, you know, cancer properties in the body. And so very exciting news on that. They were in most mushrooms form or kind of secrete liquid, as it says here, secrete on the surface of the mycelia just before the formation of fruiting bodies. And apparently, however, no, and this is why I was trying to look it up. No researchers in mushroom science have paid attention to liquid and now. So I didn't know that. I assumed that that's what antibiotics were made from, was generally the metabolites from a lot of the different myceliums, and I could be wrong. I need to look that up. But I mean, I'm not a chemist, and I'm not a mycologist, and I'm not a biologist. But I just like to read and kind of know what I'm getting myself into. I've been growing mushrooms for quite some time, and mostly I guess I'm just a farmer. But I thought it was super cool. You can see they got little pictures here of showing you their fruiting bodies and kind of the process they use to evacuate these. It looks like they're using like Japanese jar machines that they're growing with, and able to hook those to suction pumps. So it's super cool. Looks like another benefit. Looks like a benefit of that Japanese jar system they have set up, which I think is super cool. And but yeah, they isolated the compounds, did a whole bunch of research, and they also were looking into using that fruiting liquid on other mushrooms and see if they essentially increase the growth of mushrooms and stuff, etc., like that. But also, I think probably for finding and creating new strains of mushroom, because I think there's like a 25 to 27% success rate of creating new strains of mushrooms. If they want to isolate the different dicaryons out of there and try to create new fruiting bodies. But yeah, they're also testing those fruiting liquids on other mushrooms to see if they can potentially use them, kind of like as a fertilizer, is how I read it, to grow more mushrooms, or just what they do, what their effects are on other mushrooms. Essentially, they're just testing. But I think the hypothesis is that some mushroom fruiting liquids will be able to help, grow bigger, larger crops of other mushrooms. Go on. I'm going to switch over and show you guys some of my fruiting liquids. But yeah, that's what I was looking for. Right before they extracted 257 milliliters of the chestnut and 820 milliliters of the lion's mane, and then they, broke that down through chromatography. Basically, they fill a tube with silica, small silica, and in this one, I think the smallest silica. They use different sizes of silica, or different sizes of medium, essentially, and pour the liquid in there, pressurize it. Sometimes they'll temp it, or make it hot or make it cold, do all kinds of different things. I'm not super schooled up on chromatography, so did a couple of classes here at Alaska Pacific University and learned a bit about it, but not my thing. Yeah, so I'm going to switch on over and show y'all some fruiting liquid. Hey guys, we're going to go in and look at some fruiting liquid, but you can see I got my Hericium abetus on the left, Hericium coralloides on the far right, in the corner, some king mushrooms, king oysters growing up the side here, and some pens that refuse to abort in a couple of these. Bunch of blues and everything. Everything's looking great. Black reishi over here. Pen's looking great. There's a nice black reishi forming in here. Boom, boom, boom. A couple of pens. And blue oysters down here. Some of them second and third flushing. Looking great. But we're going to look at these fruiting liquids real quick. Boom. Getting here. Try not to block the light. See, we got the abetus, the yellow liquid forming on top like metabolites. I believe that's what they're referring to as the fruiting liquid. And so they're looking at, in that research article, on ways to harvest and sell that in the industry, aka they want to be able to sell you liquid to help you fruit your mushrooms more. This is what I believe that verbiage is telling me. And then also for the cancer fighting properties and the other binding properties it has. Already harvested one bag of these. See this one bag right here. This one's looking pretty good. Super cool. But yeah, this is the fruiting liquid they were talking about. And they harvested X milliliters of that. So, and I'm sure different strains produce more or less fruiting liquid too. But super cool. And you see some fruiting liquids much darker than others. But I was actually reading last night, looking for good resources myself on any research in fruiting liquid specifically for this. So it's super cool that they've isolated the compounds inside the fruiting liquids and are doing stuff with that. So I think a lot of us have probably had that question on what kind of properties they have. So super cool to see that. Thanks for watching, y'all. Much love.